Peace and love, peace and love, peace, love, and health. Johnny Gonzalez, aka Upside Down Consciousness, coming to you live with a book read of The Mucusless Diet Healing System by Professor Arnold Ehret. We are on lesson 3, and these next couple chapters are going to dive in pretty deep. So get your floaties, get your life jacket, and let's get going. Lesson 3. Why the diagnosis? Laymen and even some dietetic experts, with exception of myself, believe there is no need for diagnosis. You may ask, since there is only one disease, why the diagnosis? If all sickness is due to uncleanliness caused by uneliminated, undigested food, mucus, uric acids, toxemias, drugs, and so forth, why diagnose? We shall now learn why fruit diet and fasting have produced such doubtful results through their incorrect use and misunderstanding, caused by the belief that the general rules of this cure are suitable for all, everybody, and for every case. Nothing is further from the truth. No other cure requires so much individual specialization and continual changing to meet the reaction of the patient. This is why people who attempt these methods of cure without expert advice frequently bring about serious results. Promiscuous fasting. McFadden and many others, for instance, advise fasting as applicable to all cases. I learned through thousands of cases during my experience that nothing requires more individual, different application than fasting and the mucusless diet. Of 2 patients, one may recover completely after a fast of 2 or 3 weeks, while the other may die from the same treatment. That is why an individual diagnosis of general conditions and constitutional encumbrances is so necessary. Method of constitutional diagnosis. My diagnosis determines the following points. Number 1, the relative amount of encumbrances in the system. Number 2, the predominant part, that is, whether more mucus or more poisons. Number 3, if pus is present in the system and the amount and kind of drugs used. Number 4, if internal tissues or an organ is in a process of decomposition. And number 5, how far vitality is lowered. You will also learn through experience and observation along these lines that the general appearance, especially the face of the patient, will indicate more or less the internal condition. Medical diagnosis. Medical diagnosis throws no real light on the subject, although doctors think it more important than the actual cure. It is made up of a series of reports of symptoms and a scheme of experiences from which thousands of diseases are named. Characteristic of meaningless medical diagnosis is a frequent statement of many patients that the doctors could not find out what I have. The name of the disease does not concern us at all. A person with gout, one with indigestion, or one with Bright's disease may start with the same advice, whether to fast, for instance, and how long. It does not depend upon the name of the disease, but upon the patient's condition and how far his vitality is lowered. Naturopathic concept. Naturopathy is an advance over medicine in teaching that all disease is constitutional. Naturopathy does not explain sufficiently the source, nature, and composition of foreign matters as the fundamental oneness of all disease. Dr. Lehman said, every disease is caused by carbonic acid and gas, but he did not learn its source is decayed, uneliminated food substance, the mucus in a state of continuous fermentation. Dr. Yeager said, disease is a stench. Nature gives a diagnosis through bad odor, which indicates how far the inside decomposition has progressed. Dr. Haig of England, the founder of the anti-uric acid diet, based his conception of general diagnosis on the assumption that the majority of diseases are caused through uric acid, certainly an important part of disease matter besides mucus. Uric diagnosis. Medical doctors and many others consider this special kind of diagnosis as the most important one, but it is fundamentally misunderstood because the digestive tract, the uric canal, is the main avenue of elimination. As soon as any of one decreases their eating, fasts a little, or changes over to the natural diet, he or she has waste, mucus, pus, poisonous uric acids, phosphates, and so on. And an analysis of their urine is alarming. The same thing happens in the majority of cases whenever anyone becomes sick. Everyone becomes alarmed at the effort of the body to eliminate waste, which is, in truth, the healing, cleansing process. Should sugar or albumin be found in the urine, the case is called very serious and diagnosed as diabetes or Bright's disease, respectively. Under medical treatment, the patient in the first named case dies through sugar starvation, caused through lack of sugar and sugar formers in the diet. In the later diagnosis, the patient dies from forced albumin replacement, resulting from overfeeding of foods rich in albumin. Whatever the body expels is waste, decayed, and dead, and simply indicates that the patient is in an advanced state of inside uncleanliness, already causing a decomposition of inside organs, producing rapid decay of all food taken into the body. These cases, like tuberculosis, must be treated very carefully and very slowly. How it looks in the human colon. It is the utmost importance that through our diagnosis we must learn as much as possible the general appearance of the inside of the human body. Our diagnosis therefore consists in finding out the degree of quantities of individual waste matter of the patient. Experts in autopsy state that they have found from 60% to 70% of the colons examined have foreign matter such as worms and decayed old feces stones. The inside walls of the over intestines are encrusted by old hardened feces and resembles in appearance the inside of a filthy stovepipe. I had patients that eliminated from their body as much as 50 to 60 pounds of waste and 10 to 15 pounds alone from the colon, mainly consisting of foreign matters, especially old hardened feces. The average so-called healthy person of today carries continually with them since childhood several pounds of never eliminated feces. One good stool a day means nothing. A fat and sick person is in fact a living cesspool. A distinct surprise to me was that a number of my patients in such condition had already undertaken so-called nature cures. Damn. That was chapter 3. And I want to comment that I'm going to be doing a book read where I'm going to read the chapter. That way you can follow along and listen along. But then on my private channel, I will be doing a dissection of sentences, paragraphs, and lessons, and give real life interaction based off of information through experience of practicing the system that you can participate in as well. However, that will be a part of my private group that you can sign up for. But I still will go through all of the books that Ehret teaches and much more. Stay tuned. Peace and love. Take care of your health.